What up, YouTube? Back with another video. LA Mamba. It is September 12th, 2023. It is 6:12 p.m. I already said that. And we already closed for the day. So today I focus more on sales because I was like, we already got it pretty good in the back, and my guy's not here, the one that helps me organize a lot. So we only organized a little bit, one section, and that was it, and the rest was committed to sales. And yeah, it was busy. We made the transaction happen. When it comes to two times, two different customers wanted to get tires now, and I don't have them. So then I had to go to the warehouse and get them. LT 245 75 17s and 225 75 15s. So, you know, good customers, and I was like, let's do it, and they're like, let's go. So then yeah, it was a beautiful day. I didn't get too tired today. I'm very happy, and I'm looking forward after this video to go home and watch if you watch that Grant Cardone Undercover Billionaire, that's freaking awesome, man. Dude, like, once you know how to do something, as in this case, make money, then you can make it anywhere. And it's true, like, he proved it right there. No money, no contacts, nowhere to live, and I was like, man, that is so freaking awesome. Imagine if you put yourself in that position. I'm talking about myself. I was just like, imagine that they put me in that position. I'll be like, I'm gonna go to a tire shop. I'm gonna go live in a tire shop, man. It's just like, let's go, you know? Let's go mount them fucking tires, become the #1 employee of that shop, and in exchange, I'm gonna live in the tire shop until I give her a place to rent. But anyways, that shit was cool, man. Like, watching that, you know, I was just, you know, wondering about, like, how the economy is going right now with a lot of the loan originators and the real estate agents. They slowed down tremendously. You know, right now they're pretty alright because they already had like a busy busy home sales, season, and pretty much people got some saved money right now. But when those sales come, your life's still going. It's like, man, you're gonna start making those funds go more down and more down in your savings, and you're like, shit, how the fuck am I gonna get out of this one? If this all I know how to do is close a loan or sell some real estate, it's gonna be real tough for a lot of people. Thankfully we're in the tire shop business. It's an all year long, all year strong business. You can't get away with three tires on your vehicle. You know what I mean? You just have to have the fourth one that's good too. And there's no way around it. And people is gonna be like, oh, I gotta pay for this. This is one of those things I gotta pay for. I can't get around for next month. People need that car like the same day or the next day because they need to go to work, right? But it's just it's really cool because, like, you think about other businesses. Like, one of my guys that works here, he also works at an avocado ranch, and he's watching this video of mine right now. He may be like, damn, talk about me. But you know, it's seasonal. Every year, it's like a 3 months or 4 months off or something like that. Or I think like 3 or something like that. But and then they start the season again. And meanwhile, you gotta hustle, find other ways to make money. And so he comes here and helps and really, works really hard. And it's like, finding time again, about like yesterday's conversation of who you want coming in. And you can't put them all in, but it's like, then what you gonna do, right? Like, yeah, you can do your work, but are you gonna sit in the office all day, do nothing? In reality, you're the one who controls the schedule, so you can not have one guy come in, have the other kind of go in. And a lot of times it's you gotta think about, like, all right, who's really like putting in effort, and who's relaxing more, right? So then a little tip is, for the guys that are starting to relax, then give them some time off, a little bit of days off, like a day here, whatever, day there. And then they're gonna really feel it. They're gonna feel like, oh, money's kind of short now, I gotta work hard. And then they start like moving, now they start moving around. So like, that's what you gotta do sometimes. And it works. It does work. If that's the right person, then they will be like that. They will move, right? They will start working harder. But if they're not, then they're gonna be acting the same. Then it's a whole nother topic, right? But you guys that have been there for a long time, and you pretty much know what they're, how they think and their attitude. So you're like, all right, well, we gotta motivate them a little bit. That's how you motivate them. It's not about paying them more money, guys. If you're watching this video, I'm like, man, how can I motivate my guys? I'm gonna pay them more because they want to do more. It's not about that. Trust me, I've been there like 10 times for 10 different guys trying it. That's not it. The way you really motivate them is take away days, and then they'll get motivated. They're like, oh man, I gotta work harder. See me, I'm the best guy. And it's like, yeah. And then it's like, all right, you're kind of like back to normal now. But they're gonna show you with action. They're not gonna show you with talking, because you know how it is. Talking, they can be talking, and you see them doing nothing. You know what I mean? They're just like talking, and that's it. But if they're the right guy, then they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And well, my guys are really good. Like, just an example today, one of my guys, I was gonna say, well, actually I did say, hey, let's start putting like the oils in like the gallons, because you know how you like change oil of your own cars, you have like oil there. It's like, all right, whenever you have time, you get around to do things like that. And today was like that. So we got some gallons, and we just started pouring oil in there, and just, you gotta take it to your local auto parts that they recycle oil, right? And he's like, oh, you know what, I can take it for you, right? I can take it for you, like after work and shit. Because he had a little bit of oil, but I had like a lot. And see, that's the type of attitude that you want. That's the type that you want to keep around. That you don't ask for them to do things that you don't even think of. Like, I don't even think about, hey, like my guys can take it. Like, I've never had any of my guys take oil to the auto parts, but that came from him. So like, that's a very good sign that that's what you want on your team. I was looking through some of my comments through the videos, guys. I know I've been posting a lot, which is great for you guys and great for me. There's a lot of activity on the YouTube, so I want my stuff to be be shown on the YouTube when it's like more activity, then there's more exposure on the videos. So like if there's more comments or like likes and stuff like that, there's YouTube sees that there's something going on, so like they show it a little bit more when people are like looking for like videos and stuff. And anyways, I was looking through comments and stuff, and you know, I see some, you know, the majority of my people, I guess, you know, what I've seen, right? That what I've seen is like, are either owners or, you know, want to become owners, and that's exactly what I make these videos for. Is for people who are on the track to become owners of tire shops or tire businesses, but mainly tire shops, or are already owners. They just you know, they just kick back and watch, and it's just like they make little comments and stuff, and it's not about like showing me like, oh yeah, like, you know, I'm this, my name is this, and I own the shop, and you know, this and this called this, and you know, that's even better. But I'm just saying, like, the little comments people leave is like, man, that's exactly what I've been shooting for. You know, the tire shop owners to be viewing my videos, and I want to thank you guys. And it was pretty cool, just, you know, seeing that there's a small community growing on YouTube, because I know there's nothing out there. There's no Google, and there's no forum for, you know, tire shop owners, and it's a big you know, it might not be like a ton of like tire shops, which it's pretty big, but the point is that there's a lot of workers in it though, and so that makes it big. So like, you know, there's one tire shop owner, but there's like, you know, 5 workers per shop. Then that makes it big when it comes to like amount of people in the business. So let's say like there's like 6 people in the tire shop, just an example. We have like X amount of tire shops in the city. Then how many employees of tire shop workers there is? I mean, it's a lot. And so I know there's nothing around there, so I'm just like, man, we gotta maybe create a tire shop owner association or something like that. Nah, I'm just saying. But yeah, so like it's pretty cool, like seeing your comments across the country, and you guys have tire shops, and it's cool. It's like across like the country, man. That's I gotta go out there. I've never been to the East Coast, but I hear it's very nice, and we gotta take a little trip sometime. I got family on the East Coast a little bit, so maybe I gotta shoot down over there, maybe to Miami to visit what's it called, Scarface, right? But yeah, like one of the comments was yesterday was you know, someone lives in their tire shop, and yeah, I was like, yeah, I know a few people that have lived in their tire shops, and even one of them owned the home but still lived in the tire shop with his family. And so like every time you go over, like, you know, the ladies have their sisters, the señoras cooking, and they're on the table and they're having food, and the owners right there eating and stuff like that. I think that's awesome. It's just like, you know, like people think, oh yeah, like what are you doing living in a tire shop? But you know, if you don't want to drive a lot and you're there all the time, every day, and just like that's your life, you know, so you can do that. There's been plenty of times that people stayed over at my tire shop. You know, they need a hand, and so like, yeah, you can stay, go for it. So and there's been multiple times. So I know it does work. It's like more free, like more pressure's off of you if you're not paying all that ton of rent or ton of a freaking mortgage, even more than the mortgage, right? But I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it a couple times, and I've even like underwritten a tire shop. Is like, okay, if I wanted to buy a tire shop, you know, that's one of the things it comes with. You know, you can live in the place, not for me, but like for like a partner. But that was definitely the wrong move, and I caught it, and I'm glad I didn't take the plunge, even though I had a great partner that didn't know the tire shop business, but I known him for many years and very trustworthy, and I knew he would be able to like make it work. But again, he was not a tire shop guy and didn't want to be a tire shop guy. He was only there he would only want to be there for like the money, but which is fine. But it's like, okay, after he's, you know, how you say it, what do you call it, once after you get married and then you go to the vacation after, but whatever that word's called, you know, once that's over, when you bought the property, bought the business, and it's like, okay, then who's gonna run it, right? And then that's when the whole problem starts. I've been offered plenty of shops, and before, when I didn't know much, like many years ago, about like owning businesses and real estate and stuff like that, I looked into one, and I was gonna be able to buy it really cheap, and in my own city. And my partner would have been another tire shop owner, one of my friends that I know. And we didn't buy it, and it turns out, now that I know a lot about this stuff, it turns out it was a great move not me buying it, because there would have been a lot of problems of how do you manage, who's gonna be the manager, and how much are they stealing every day. Oh man, it would have been a headache. But actually, I know somebody who bought it. I know the people who bought it, and they're doing good because they're there all the time running the business like you should, which is the right way to do it. I'll go this way. I was offered another load of discounted tires today. It's about 150, and I declined it. And I'm gonna tell you the reason I declined it, and I even told him. I told him, look, thank you for the offer, and you know, I just bought a bunch of racks and filled them up with used tires. And the reason I did that is because I see the market, people are asking for the used tires now more than before. And yeah, he understood. He's really smart with the business. You know, he's in the new tire business. But he also understood that I'm watching and reading the market, and I did what they're asking. And he can't be mad at me for that, you know. He can't be mad at the market. You can't, you know what I mean? It's like, who says that? Snoop Dogg says you can't hate the player, you gotta hate the game. So he's like, you can't hate the player, so you gotta hate the game. But you can't even hate the game. It's like it is what it is, right? Like, if people are asking for the used tires, it is what it is. And like I said, I invested in used tires. It's been paying off every single day, just selling and selling. Labor and whatever. I mean, people even come, like recently they came and asked, well, let me use an example today. I'm always using today examples, right? And I'm always using, I did a good profit today, because that's how tire shop is. It's all about today. Today, 2 customers came. So one was asking for 16s and a halves, very hard. And the guy said, they told me you're the guy to talk to. And it was right. I mean, I'm the guy who had like the most 16s and a half out of everybody I ever known in my life. And I had 2 of them, and I told him, okay, look it, if you want these, this is what you got to do, because they're a little bit taller. You got to put your tires in the front and these in the back. And so he's like, oh, what's the price? And I said 65 each. And he's like, oh, I got to think about that. And it's like, you know, they're just like junk tires that he wants, right? Rollers. And I told him, yeah, in any tire shop, you're not going to find this. It's pretty much, you're not going to find a 16 and a half no more. Those are super hard. Always asking my guys, give me more 16s and a half. But they're very rare, very rare. And that's why I asked for them, because they're very rare. And a lot of people don't know about them. So like, I just ask for them, make sure I get them. And I do get them once in a while. But so I told him, you're not gonna find them like in the tire shops. I told him, but if you go to the raking yards, you will find them. And I tell the people the truth all the time. The customers, like, you can find them. You gotta go and waste your time and look for them at the raking yards. And if you find them, and most of the time, if you go to 2 or 3 raking yards, you will find those tires at 16s and a half. And so, but I told him, 65 each, and And I told them, you know, I haven't increased that price in like 5 years. I've been selling that same tire for that same price for 5 years, $65 each tire. I mean, so like, you know, how much did inflation pass throughout these years and all that? Extremes amount of inflation. I still get the same price. But the point is, like, that one I didn't close because of the price. And I don't think he's gonna find those tires. But anyways, the next customer was, what was the other customer they asked for? Damn, I had it in my freaking mind right now. Oh yeah, I think it was it the 285/60? Yeah, 285/60/20. Is it that one? Well, I did have it. It's a very hard tire to find. I did have it. I gave him a good price, and he said he's gonna come back, but he didn't. My guess he just it got, you know, locked up with work or whatever it is. I'm sure he'll be back, but he really wanted that tire. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. Is like, you know, you know they're not gonna find it nowhere because that's a hard tire size to get, and you know you'll be back. So I know you're gonna either find tomorrow's gonna come back or on the weekend. But the point is, like, you know we got that. You know, it just pretty tough design size to get. So but yeah, so like I just like you know, going hard on the used now. From now on, I'm gonna try to go as hard as I can when it comes to that. Like, you know, it's just like I said in my other videos, it's gonna take some a little bit of time, not much time, but just a little bit of what my assets or other things I'm doing with my properties and all that. It's a work in progress, but I always make sure, like, all the money I make, it doesn't go to me, it just goes forward to my assets. And like I just told you, it's like, okay, what's my next deal? Is like paint the apartments. You know, I gotta just get my guy. And I after this video, actually, I'm gonna call him up. I'm like, okay, well, what's the price? Because like he was digging for that. And you know, yesterday we did some repairs on the properties. And every single day it's just moving forward in the assets, just making them stronger, making them better. And that's what you're supposed to do, right? It's just keep moving forward with everything. So for those of you who already have a tire shop that's been running already for a few years, you know, there's a lot of good things about that. That even if you like, you gotta kind of like, let's say, if you're gonna grow a little bit and choose another shop, and grow it even better because you have like more room and you know, better location or whatever. But the point is, like, even then, you're in a very good position. We're in a good position when it comes to this type of business, because, you know, once you start a shop, it although it seems kind of expensive in the beginning, it really isn't compared to other businesses. And it's pretty much what I'm trying to say. It's a great entry point when it comes to owning a business. It's you know, it's something you can always depend on. So like when you're gonna do another business, it's great to know that you can depend on your tire shop whenever there's expenses needed, and you're not gonna be like suffering, like, oh shoot, man, like cry about, like, it's not about crying, but like, man, this thing was expensive, man, freaking, I gotta freaking pay this shit and whatever, right? There's always like crazy costs when you start new businesses and stuff. So, you know, once you have the money there, it's like, all right, just fucking pay it. It's like, that's it. Like, and it's like, all right, there, it's just pay this, pay that. And, you know, ultimately, as you do it for many years, starting different businesses or buying different properties, you don't even think about it no more. You just pay. Of course, no one likes to pay money when it comes to like doing repairs or whatever it is, and especially there's no gains in some things that you got to do. But it's, you know, it's awesome that you have a business that it just produces, and you're just saving it, and it's just like, all right, well, I need it, just pay it, and we're out of that problem now, so we don't got to do that all over again. Now we're gonna have other problems, you know, when we save up again, and okay, we'll deal with that. But you know, I eliminate that emotion out of it years ago. It's just like, we already know what's gonna happen, right? You know, something's gonna, like a rental property, like for mine, is like, just an example, like water heater was done. It's like, okay, it's gonna cost you like $1,000 something, right? It's like, okay, now you got clogged over here. It's like a few $100 here, and so it ends up like a few thousand, right? And it's like, damn, like, just pay it, and it's like, move forward, and that's paid for. All that's repaired already. No need to worry about that no more. There's something else that's gonna pop up in the future. So make sure you stay hard, working hard at the tire shop, and just make money. So like, you know, if another cost comes, and it's like, okay, now you can pay for that and not even worry about it. And then later on, when you're, you know, real estate, just example, I'm in the real estate business, so when that thing's throwing a whole bunch of cash flow, and it's like, you know, growing in income and growing in appreciation, then it's like, oh, that, you know, it's beautiful. That's like, you know, that flower flourished, right? And it's like, okay, now that thing's like, you know, throwing even more money than, like, you know, and it's like, all right, well, that, you know, can be used to like all your personal expenses, and if you need it, I mean, if you have other properties and it's already doing that, and then it's not needed, it's just like, it's just a beautiful thing that, you know, you can create something from like nothing, or create something from very little, and it just makes it like very profitable, or get something that's already running but make it a lot better, you know. And another thing is like, so like, you know, we as tire shop owners, we feel, oh yeah, like sometimes you see other businesses, and it's like, man, I wish I can like be clean, right? Or I wish I needed a nice car, so like I can, like, for whatever reason, like just go do something in another business, right? It's just like a style of business requires those things. Just an example, if you let's just use a real estate agent, right? You have to have like a nice car, pretty much, you know. Yes, you can do it without having a nice car, but it just looks more professional. That all the customers are gonna see you in like a decent car, and going places, just going to show this house, right? Just going to the closing of the house or whatever it is, you know. And so like if you're like, all right, like I feel like if we gotta do another business, and it's like, I'll only leave the tire shop if that business is producing a lot more money than the tire shop, right? That's the mentality that we all have, right? Like, okay, we're gonna leave this shop that's very profitable for something that just like, it's just different. It's not even that's better, it's just different. Like, it's just like, okay, there's a lot less wear and tear on your body, right? There's a lot less you know, getting dirty or whatever it is. Maybe there's less time required, right? Whatever it is, it's like the mentality is always like, okay, if it's worth it, I'll leave the tire shop business for something else, right? I'll leave it when that other thing is making me more money than my tire shop business, and then I'll leave it. But check it out. So if you ever get to that point where, let's say you have another business that's making a lot of money, or your rental properties are making a lot of money, well, not rental properties, but like, because you don't really need to be there anyways. But let's just say you have another interest, right? Like, I don't know, you just want to start a family or something, like, that's going to require you a lot of, you know, time, and because, like, well, you know, the kids, the babies, you know, whatever it is, right? Like, it's just something else. So it's like, well, it's good to know that, yes, you leave the tire shop business, but it doesn't mean you have to like get rid of the tire shop. You know, it could be like you're away from it and you have a manager, like a family member that can like hold it down for a few days, and then you work a few days, and you're not profitable, or maybe a little bit of profit for yourself, but the tire shop business is keep going and going, and it's paying all the workers, paying all the bills, paying the rent, you know, handling the customers. And for whatever reason, let's just say it just doesn't work out. Like, you know, let's say you have a divorce, or like the other business was like, fuck, it was a piece of shit business or whatever it is. I like my tire shop business better, which I've been through that, by the way. I've been through that. It's good to know that you come back and you still got your business. You know, you still got the tire shop there. It's still running. It's still profitable. When you're there, you're much more profitable. But when you have your, you know, manager, at least it was like paying for itself. It's kind of like, I just see it like a rental properties. You know, the cash flow's main purpose is to like service the debt. In the tire shop business, when it's gone, when you're gone away from it, it's like the main cash flow purpose is to service your expenses, service the cost of doing business, your taxes, and all that, right? And I mean, just if you want to know that story, right, I'll just go ahead and tell you. Like, I did want to become an agent years ago, and I started it when I was 22 when I got my real estate license, and I became an agent. So like, I had my license for like 10 years, but the point is, I did leave the shop and pursuing the, you know, one day of, you know, selling homes part-time and owning a tire shop also, right? Well, it turns out it doesn't work like that. You know, the whole real estate thing is like, you really gotta be there full time if you want to make some good money, because like, you gotta show homes, you gotta show them like whenever the customers want to go see them, and you know, you got to write a whole bunch of offers, and that takes time, and you know, you gotta like go back and forth. It requires time. You can do that maybe in the night, but the thing is, you're gonna become you want to be a good agent, right? So like, if you wait till the end of the night and then I'm done with tire shop business, you're gonna do it at night. Now let's make the offers and all that. You know, it could be number one, the home's already, you know, got locked up with another contract because they were too slow, because you wait a few hours instead of sending it now. Two, bad service, because like, you know, you could have had done this when the customer wanted it, or very sooner compared to like hours later, or phone calls. When the phone calls, you don't answer the agent's phone calls because, you know, the other, let's say you're selling a house and it's like, I got questions regarding this house. Like, let me ask you about the utilities or whatever it is. Or I mean, you know, people got all kinds of questions about details of a house when it comes to the agent, right? So like, and you can't get to that, and it's like, you get to that real late, you call them back, and they give it by that time the buyer that was interested went cold already. You know, like in Spanish they say, when you eat the tortillas, when they're hot or cold. You know, when they eat the tortillas, when they're hot or cold. That's like when you sell, right? When buyers are hot, you gotta sell them, and you can't do that when you're there, like calling hours later. So the point is, it just didn't work out, right? Like, I never known anybody that has done that, and you know, maybe it's out there, but like, you know, I don't know. It just didn't work out pretty much. And another thing, I just didn't like the business because it was too lonely. I mean, it was just one agent. You go everywhere by yourself. You know, it's like, I was used to a lot of activity. You know, tire shop business, a lot of activity, a lot of buyers, a lot of like, you know, workers, a lot of everything, a lot of freaking movement and all that, all day, every day, busy. And then I went to a business that you're like by yourself, and then I became like kind of like, in a way, kind of depressed, you know, like I at that age when my emotional intelligence wasn't as strong as today, it was like, man, like that's kind of like depressing. And I didn't really like that business. That was my main reason I didn't like it. I didn't like being like all by myself. I liked a lot of sales. You know, I like money every day. You know, it was just like continuously every single day, a lot of activity. And you know, if you're in the tire shop business, you know what I'm talking about. There's just a ton of work sometimes, and ton is like, sometimes it's just like normal, but it's never like dead. It's never like, damn, like it's like we're just sitting here doing nothing. If you're doing that, man, you got a lot of work to do in your tire shop business, man. That's not the way it is, you know. And I do know shops like that, and it's like, man, how do people survive? But you know, there's people that want to go through hell, I guess. I don't know. It's just like you gotta like figure out how to create more business. You know, you gotta like market online. Well, anyways, the point is like, it just sucked. I just didn't like that business, and I was like, shoot, I'm going back to the tire shop business. And then again, back, bunch of activity, bunch of this, bunch of that. It's like, man, this is what I like. This is my type of business, you know? So you gotta find a business that works for you. And for many of us, a tire shop business is the right business. And of course, there's a lot of people that do mechanic work, and that, you know, they want to add a tire shop to their mechanic shop. And I think it's a good idea. You know, it won't be like super, you know, crazy busy like a purebred tire shop, but at least you have extra money coming in, and you don't have to be like the best at it, as long as you just can, you know, consistently do a little here and there. It's profitable. It works. It fits because you're gonna always be there repairing cars, and you're gonna be there at your location, and customers show up, and it can be a pretty quick job, so that you can knock it out, and customers love when you just right away they come in, you help them out. You know, the number one thing that customers do not like is waiting. They just, you know, today one customer, you know, every day we have at least one customer that leaves. We have that much business that at least one day I can tell you, at least every single day, that a customer leaves because they just want it done like now, and we just don't have the time because we're like, you know, 4 guys on like 3 different cars or whatever, and we do help them out. Hey, you know, how can I help you, whatever. But I'm just letting you know, we got to finish these cars, and then they'll leave, right? They'll just like, oh, you know, I'll be back later or whatever. And they're not pissed. They're just like, they want it now, right? Maybe they go to another tire shop, but maybe they just gonna wait for the next day or whatever. But the point is that they love that, so it worked great on a mechanic shop. And as you can see, all over the country, tires and mechanic shops and stuff like that, it works. But yeah, keep making money from the tires, baby. I call it the black gold. You know, it's like you gotta keep digging for that black gold, right? But anyways, I'll let you guys go. I'll see you guys next time. Mamba out.